thank you to our sponsor, MBA Growth Partners.
Welcome to Studio 501c3. I'm Kim Jones, the CEO of Nonprofit Village, a capacity builder and shared space for nonprofits. We feature nonprofit organizations that provide essential programs to the community. They are all charities that the IRS has designated as 501c3 because they provide a public benefit, and most of your donations to them are tax deductible. We're a proud partner of Montgomery Community Media, your public resource that provides access to a variety of information and programs relevant to our community. On today's episode, we're talking to Courtney Hall, the CEO of Interfaith Works. Interfaith Works serves our neighbors in need and advocates for an end to poverty. Courtney, thank you so much for joining us in Studio 501c3.
Thanks for welcoming me, Kim. It's nice to speak with you again.
Good. So Interfaith Works is an organization that impacts the lives of people directly and profoundly every single day. And you've got more than 50 years of, or nearly 50 years of stories and service. So tell us the story about Interfaith Works, how you're dealing with the growing and changing needs in the community.
Sure. So in 1972, Interfaith Works was founded to do the exact same thing that we're doing today. Essentially, Interfaith Works was founded as an anti-poverty organization meant to help people who are experiencing poverty in many areas. Over the years, we've certainly grown. We've added programs, we've grown in size. Now we are reaching about 17,000 people a year, and we have the privilege of having about 130 people on our team. Though if you sort of look at the delta, impacting 17,000 people, 130 employees, you can't really do that much work. And so a significant part of our way that we leverage and are able to reach people is through the power of about 12,000 volunteers, people who just give of their time every day to come and help us at any of our various sites to be able to impact and help those who are experiencing poverty.
Wow. That's an incredible set of numbers and hard to kind of wrap your head around, but we all know about, especially during economic downturns and crises over the last dozen years or more, pandemics, there's a growing need, and working with individuals and families to ensure that they have housing, that they have jobs, that they can lift themselves, out of poverty. The organization really works not just to provide these services, but to really empower people in order to help themselves, giving them the resources and tools to learn to help themselves. Is that correct?
That's right. And that's one of the things that we really pride ourselves on. We like to separate the things that we do into three different buckets. So we work with our community to help to prevent homelessness. We work with people in our community to help them to stabilize their lives. And then we also work with them to help them to empower them so that they can impact and experience success. And that piece that you just touched on, the empowerment, I think is a really important part of what we do, primarily through our vocational services program. Last year, we served almost 150 people and helped those folks to land, on average, a wage of about $15.05 an hour. Okay. Collectively, because of all of the work that they've done, they were able to earn about $3 million worth of wages, which is significant, especially if you think about the kinds of people who we serve, the most vulnerable people who may have experienced chronic unemployment.
Right. And, and that ties to a whole nother set of issues in terms of what living wage really needs to be. And that's where kind of that is set, but we know that there's more. Is that a job training program, or is it more assisting in making sure that people are equipped to find employment?
It's both. We like to think of it as a job coaching program. Okay. And I say that specifically because when folks are coming to us, as I mentioned already, many having experienced chronic unemployment, there's really quite a bit of effort that we go through to help people to dream, to think about what is possible. And I'll give a quick story about a gentleman, Kokuvi, who came to us some time ago, is an immigrant from another country, came here by himself, got connected to Interfaith Works and our vocational services program, was able to land an entry-level job. And through our follow-up and the way that we've been supporting him, he learned of an additional training opportunity that would allow him to take his career to the next level. He was sanitizing rooms, and the next step was to be able to sanitize surgical products, which would take his wage from $15 an hour to, I believe, over $22 an hour.
Oh, wow.
Just learned today, Kim, that he passed the certification exam. Really, really tough stuff. And that's the kind of work that we like to sort of tell people in the community about, because that's the kind of being able to take people from the most vulnerable place in their life and help them to be able to understand and, frankly, to be able to dream about what is possible. And it's not always easy to do that on your own.
Right. Yeah, that's a powerful story. Thank you for sharing that. Some of the other, before we get ready to go to break, you also obviously have housing programs, and then you have the clothing center, which a lot of people in the community know about and donate to. But just in the 30 seconds before are there other programs that people need to know about besides the housing, the clothing center, and meals?
Certainly. So the Food Hub is a program that we recently launched, and just in a few short months, again, because of the pandemic, we've been able to impact alone, just in those few months, over 17,000 people, helping them to get food, distributing over 200,000 pounds of food. And that speaks to the need in the community. It also speaks, I think, to our ingenuity as an organization, being willing to meet the moment, to be able to design programs that help to meet the current need in the community.
Wow. Okay. We're going to take a brief break. And when we come back, I want you to tell us a little bit more about the services that Interfaith Works provides. So we'll go to commercial, and then we'll be back. Studio 501c3 on Montgomery Community Media. We'll be right back.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies. Selfie, nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on man, let's split a ride home.
I don't remember how it started.
Go to that.
Our back and forth. It always came back. Dad! You probably don't remember what you told me.
That was perfect.
But I heard every word.
Welcome back to Studio 501c3, your window into exceptional nonprofit programs in Montgomery County. I'm talking with Courtney Hall, the Chief Executive Officer at Interfaith Works. And before the break, we were talking about some of the programs and services. So, Courtney, if you want to expand a little bit on the programs that, as you said, prevent, not just address people that are experiencing homelessness, but also prevention services.
Sure. I am so proud of all of the programs, about 15 interrelated programs that we offer to the community. I'm really proud of our shelter programs. And that in many ways ties back to our beginning. We began as a community-based organization, a coalition of about 160 churches who wanted to do something about the issue of homelessness in Montgomery County. And so for many, many years, we have operated shelters. And today, We are the singular provider, year-round provider of year-round women's shelters in the county. So we're operating 2 now.
Okay.
We had traditionally operated 1, but as a result of the pandemic and the need for social distancing, more spacing, we worked with the county to be able to stand up another shelter program that is currently operating. Through those 2 programs, through those 3 shelters, we have a significant impact on people, and folks are able to come in out of the cold, or as we like to also say, come in out of the heat. Because many times we think of the cold season as being the time when people need to get out off of the street, but also certainly we see the same thing during the summertime, which we're getting ready for now. We also offer permanent supportive housing programs.
What does that mean?
Oh, great question. So we term them community supportive housing programs, community-based, and these are people who live in many places in the community, in apartments. They receive assistance with rent, and they have intensive case management that helps them to navigate many of life's challenges. For some people, success is moving from where they are relating to medical care for themselves or for their children to getting and receiving regular medical care. For some people, it's helping them to become employed. For some people, it's helping them to access the resources that are available, but navigating a system that they may have difficulty doing so. And so for all of the people served through these programs, they either present with a physical or a mental health disability that has created challenges for them and their ability to access and navigate the system.
Okay. And this speaks to the empowerment that we were talking about earlier. So you mentioned, and we only have about a minute before we have to wrap up, but you mentioned starting nearly 50 years ago with this coalition of 160 plus faith-based organizations. And, that's grown. You now have volunteers, you have the staff and everything that has grown incredibly. But it sounds like the coordination of a massive coalition of wraparound services that you're using in order to eliminate homelessness, prevent the reoccurrence, and really activating this network.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. This really is community-based work. And we like to think that our clients are able to access services through our network of services, but certainly we're not the silver bullet for addressing poverty. We have many partners in the community who do the same work, and we work closely with them. I'll give a good example of some coalition building that we've done.
Sure. We only have about 20 seconds, so go ahead.
Sister organization where we experience many of the same issues. We sort of troubleshoot with each other and help each other to reach conclusions and final situations that actually work for all of us and help us to do a better job of serving the community.
Yeah, incredible work. Thank you for what you all are doing. People that want to volunteer can go to your website. They can volunteer their time. Obviously, donations go to support the work that you're doing as well. And unfortunately, we're out of time. But we've learned, I think, a lot about the ability to work with Interfaith Works to equip people with the resources to really lift themselves out of poverty and homelessness. And I want to thank you, Courtney, for sharing this information with the audience today.
Thanks, Kim.
For more information on Interfaith Works, visit their website at iworksmc.org. I'm Kim Jones. Thanks for joining us, and come back for another edition of Studio 501c3 on Montgomery Community Media.